How does it feel to be a split second away from certain death? To stare down the barrel of a loaded gun on the most dangerous day of your life. Tonight, a suicidal madman tries mowing down Sergeant William Round in a desperate getaway.
Don't move that car!
I was now the target of his rage. I knew that my life was now in jeopardy.
And a couple of cops patrol the streets of South Philadelphia and are forced into a pavement-pounding takedown.
You can smell the gunpowder. That just sent shockwaves through me.
Oh, you shot, boy? No, I'm not shot. You shot?
All ready for the night, dog?
Then, Officer Guy Smith gets caught in the middle of a shootout and goes eye to eye with his would-be killer.
The gun was so close to my face, I could actually read the brand name and caliber on the barrel.
Real people, in their own words.
The three of us and my canine stood toe-to-toe with evil that day.
Revealed their most frightening moment. The day they faced their crisis point.
Suspect down, need rescue.
My name is William Round. I'm a sergeant with the Holly Springs Police Department, and I've been in law enforcement for 10 years.
Holly Springs, Georgia, is a small town with virtually no major crime.
Come on.
That is, until now.
Get him! Don't move that car!
July 9th started out like any other for Sergeant Round.
All of a sudden, dispatch came over the radio and notified us that a high-speed pursuit was coming through our city.
Other units have been chasing a man wanted in a domestic violence case for almost 20 miles. Round races ahead to immobilize the vehicle.
I noticed this dark-colored Mercedes traveling right at me. I deployed 2 sets of stop sticks. The suspect went right around them. 75, 80 miles an hour, right through the median. So I pulled him off the interstate as quickly as possible.
Come on!
Round jumps into his patrol car and joins the pursuit.
I was a little frustrated that he didn't hit him so we could conclude that pursuit a little faster. I caught back up to the pursuit fairly quickly.
Round is given the go-ahead to perform a pit maneuver.
Get him!
He approaches the passenger side and attempts to immobilize the fleeing driver.
I pulled alongside of the suspect, and all of a sudden, he hit his brakes and essentially pitted me. I knew this isn't the way it was supposed to go either. He's now avoided my stop sticks, and now I'm the one spinning out, not him.
Round knows the controlled crash has brought this chase to an end. The suspect is surrounded.
I exited my car with my weapon pointed right at him, thinking the pursuit was going to end like every other pursuit. I didn't really have any inclination that something bad was going to come out of this at all.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
We have 4 police cars entrapping his car,
Don't move that car!
lights and sirens going, and he just kind of stared right through me.
What Sergeant Round sees next sends shivers down his spine.
He looked right through me. I hadn't been looked through like that, I think, in my career, as if I wasn't standing there. That was a very scary situation. The next thing you know, he's lighting the tires up and smoke's going everywhere. He's doing all that he can to escape an unescapable situation.
Suddenly, his car slams into reverse, heading straight toward another officer.
When he put it in reverse and headed towards the deputy, I knew that I had an obligation to try to protect him as best as possible. I fired fired one shot into the suspect's vehicle trying to stop that threat, to try to keep him from running down my friend. And it was almost like it didn't have any effect at all. I knew that his level of desperation was so high, he was going to do whatever he could to get out of this situation, up to and including running us down. The suspect squealed the tires, smoke was everywhere. I was now the target of his rage. He looked right back at me, put it in drive, and headed straight towards me. I knew that my life was now in jeopardy. I went behind my car, thinking it was adequate protection against another car, and he drove through it like a hot knife through cold butter.
The hit nearly knocks Round off his feet, but incredibly, he regains his balance, narrowly avoiding getting run over.
His alley of escape was through me. I was now right in front of that 6,000-pound bullet. The smoke's coming out. There's obviously some horsepower going to the ground, and it's coming right at me. It is like a raging bull. Fired 6 more rounds into the car to try to stop that threat.
But the shots don't stop the madman as his car careens across the highway, straight into oncoming traffic.
I used every tool in my law enforcement arsenal to try to conclude this pursuit. From spike strips to firing my duty weapon. And here the suspect is still moving forward. I'm wondering when this is going to end.
The out-of-control Mercedes avoids a head-on collision by inches. It finally stops when it strikes a tree on the other side.
And it was a very, very loud crash. The car caught on fire. The horn was stuck on. Never forget that noise, that horn on the whole time.
It's on fire. We're going to need fire out here.
Sergeant Round fired 7 shots through the windshield of the charging vehicle. 6 of them hit their mark.
When I saw him slump over the seat, I assumed that he might be deceased. Some officers will never, ever pull their weapon in the line of duty. It's something that none of us wish to ever happen. It's one thing to just walk up to somebody and to shoot them, cold-blooded murder. It's another thing when your life's on the line. Without a doubt in my mind, I knew that deadly force was necessary to stop that threat. I wish the events of July 9th hadn't have happened the way they happened, but they did happen that way, and that's something I have to cope with for the rest of my life.
Coming up,
He's stuck, out on foot.
cops are caught in a deadly shootout with a desperate and drugged kidnapper.
Put your hands out!
Was trying to lure us in and then turn around and open fire on us.
Then, a mini-marked beatdown when clerk Yvonne Chardois battles the bad guy with his big stick.
He was trying to harm me. I'll harm him back.
That's on Crisis.
357, I'll be in pursuit. My name is Jim Schiffler. I've been a deputy with Bonneville County Sheriff's Department for almost 10 years now. Our training pretty much prepares you how to adapt and deal with most any situation.
But no amount of training could prepare Deputy Schiffler for the horrors he'd face this day.
Police officer, stop pursuing the dog! Stop pursuing the dog! Put your hands out!
Being a canine officer is probably one of the better duties in law enforcement. The canine is your partner. Rick will apprehend anybody for you, and that's a huge bond between a person and an animal.
Schiffler and his canine Rick stake out the home of a man wanted for the kidnapping and rape of a young girl.
And as he drove up to the driveway, he just slowed up, and once he saw me, chase was on.
suspects. 357, I'll be in pursuit. Eastbound on 49th North.
You can't let this kind of guy get away. This guy is a bad guy, and you chase him till there's no more chasing.
357 will be eastbound on North Yellow.
Officer Todd Raymond joins in the pursuit.
I heard the situation escalate over the radio.
366, I'm Yellowstone at Lincoln. I'll be en route.
Was this one pretty serious? This guy a pretty bad guy? Absolutely.
3668.
Deputy Brian Lovell also hears the call and heads in the direction of the runaway felon.
375, chopper, the hard right coming up.
I knew what he had done. We needed to get him one way or another.
6, we are northbound.
All three officers are now converging on the violent rapist, determined to bring him in.
Lovell and I, our main focus was to get in front of the bad guy, and then he turned off the main road.
344, he's making a sharp corner at the top of the hill right before we get to height.
I was right behind the suspect's vehicle.
344 headed up the canyon.
The driver is hoping the nasty stretch of road will shake his pursuers.
I'm hanging back on the edge of his dust, and then I get a glimpse of his sponsor.
The squad cars are moving fast, kicking up thick clouds of dust. The officers can barely see the road or each other.
The visibility on the dirt road was terrible. It was a scary feeling.
You want to call it, Jim? I can't see.
I was the third cop car. There were times I could barely see the hood of my car. We're pretty much in this on our own. There's the three of us and the bad guy.
You're going to be going up to be a dead end. There's no way that he can go from there other than on foot.
He got up into the hill a little farther, and it came to a dead end, and he got the truck stuck.
Units in this pursuit, if he gets out of the vehicle, I'm going to use my partner on him.
As I pull up, he's already out of his truck. As he's walking away, I remember thinking something's not right, because most suspects either run or they give up or they're going to fight you right there, and he's just walking.
With an ominous stride, the armed suspect walks away from the lawmen.
I think he was trying to lure us in and get us closer, and then turn around and open fire on us.
Schiffler knows what they must do next.
Police officer, stop and send the dog!
So I issued the canine warnings.
Stop him and send the dogs!
I sent my canine Rick.
Within a second and a half, everything changed.
When the suspect brings the gun up to my dog, my heart just sunk. He shot my dog.
The distraction of the canine provides an opportunity to avenge his sacrifice.
He was taking aim at us. I don't have anything to hide behind us. I made the decision right there. I better shoot at him before he shoots us.
The gunman unloads his weapon. Shots ring out from all directions.
Lovell and I fired almost simultaneously. The suspect went down real fast.
Incredibly, it seems all the officers escape with their lives. It's only when the bullets stop flying that Sergeant Raymond makes a frightening discovery. He's been hit.
I'm hit!
My right leg just became weak. I didn't know exactly what had happened. I reached down to check it and came up with a bloody hand.
We're going to be out. Stand by. Sheffler, he's medic.
My thigh was swelling up to probably 2 times its natural size. The pain hit, and it hit hard. It's just a burning pain that just kept expanding. If the round would have been a half an inch to the left or right, it probably would have caused damage to my femoral artery.
Bleeding heavily, Sergeant Raymond's only hope is an air evacuation to a hospital That's miles away.
357, we have an officer down, a canine down. We need air Idaho up here.
We got Todd behind the truck and let dispatch know to get the helicopter en route up there to fly Todd out.
Raymond will survive, but Schiffler and the others must secure the scene.
As we went up towards the suspect, I thought he was still alive because I saw him moving around with the gun. We slowly moved up because we thought he could be laying there waiting for us.
Officers discover the shooter will no longer be a threat.
June 5th was the most unexpected day of my life.
Put my gun down!
The three of us and my canine stood toe-to-toe with evil that day.
Police officer, stop and send the dog! Stop and send the dog!
Had it not been for Rick, I think that one, if not all of us, might not be here today.
Put my gun down!
Medic.
Coming up, two cops take down a wanted man on the streets of South Philly.
When he said, "I'm gonna shoot you," I knew he meant it.
On Crisis.
I'm Mark Moore with the City of Philadelphia. I've been a police officer for 18 years.
No amount of experience, however, could prepare Moore for the events of June 28th. Moore and his partner Butch Riddick patrol a rough part of South Philly when they spot a known thug wanted in connection with a murder.
We were on routine patrol when we observed Dante Jones, the person of interest in a murder. This guy was a threat. We needed to get him off the street now.
Officer Moore and I have been partners for about 12 years now.
Butch is more than a partner to me. It's like a brother, a family member. Once a week, I call his wife and tell him I'll bring him home to you. He's gonna be safe.
Me and Mark, we're pretty close. I'm godfather to his daughter. We go out together. We do a lot of stuff together.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for him, and I am 100% certain there's nothing he wouldn't do for me. Southwest Philadelphia is entrenched in crime.
It's the beginning of Moore and Riddick's shift, and they both know that in this part of town, anything can happen.
We were traveling westbound on Chester Avenue, approaching 60th. At that time, I looked to my left and I saw Dante Jones.
Jones is wanted for questioning in a homicide case.
We spotted Jones coming out of the deli, and we had to formulate a plan to stop and arrest him because there was an outstanding warrant on him.
Yo, Mark, look at Dante on the corner here.
Where?
Over here right in front of the store.
You sure that's him?
Don't look.
You sure that's him?
I'm positive.
Oh, okay.
I'm positive, man.
Moore and Riddick are sure they have their man, but must approach the suspect with caution or risk him running.
Jones has an extensive criminal background. He's a violent individual. We made a U-turn back, which brought us directly in front of the deli and in line with Dante. We both agreed that I would get out of that vehicle, look inside the deli, not to frighten Dante off, and at a moment's notice grab him. So when I was in striking distance, I grabbed him
Dante immediately puts up a fight.
And he started grabbing in his right pocket for an object. Instantly, I knew that Dante had a gun.
Mark started struggling with him, and now was my time to get out and help.
I'm still holding on to Dante's arm as Officer Riddick comes over and tackles him. We struggled and struggled and struggled. During this whole time, Dante was constantly saying, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to kill you. When he said, I'm going to shoot you, I knew he meant it. I did not want him to pull the gun out. And I could feel his hands wiggling and moving and gaining control of the trigger.
Then, Officers Riddick and Moore hear something that chills them to the core.
Time stood still.
And when the gun went off, instantly you could smell the gunpowder. That just sent shockwaves through me.
Are you shot, Butch? No, I'm not shot. You shot? No, I'm not shot. All right.
Mark yelled at me, he said, Butcher, you shot? I said, no. I said, are you shot?
And I said, no, I'm not. At the same time, Dante saying, I'm shot.
I'm shot.
The wanted man has just shot himself.
You shot yourself, man. You shot yourself. The suspect was shot between the lower stomach and the groin.
Dante, stop fighting, man. Call him back right now.
Right then, we knew we had control of him, and I could get the weapon from him. Officer Riddick then was able to cuff him. Once we knew we had control of him and the weapon was taken from him, you go into a savior mode. We had to save him.
Mark, call for the assist. Hurry up.
So rescue came and transported him to the hospital.
He was a desperate person. He had dope on him, he had a gun on him, and he knew about the murder, and he knew once we got our hands on him, he was going to be placed under arrest.
Dante Jones is now in jail for the attempted murders of Officers Riddick and Moore.
The worst thing that could have happened is me and my partner got shot. Thank God we came through unscathed. You know, nobody got really injured except for the bad guy.
With our job, you always have to be ready for the unexpected. But I did not expect for the situation to culminate the way it did. After the incident is over is when you realize what has occurred and what could have occurred.
He's got a gun!
He could have shot at us at any time as we pulled up. But on that day, law and God was on our side.
You shot yourself, man. You shot yourself.
Coming up, gangsters spill into a grocery store, but a security officer cleans up the mess.
I knew that if this robber pulled the trigger, I was a dead man.
Later, nightmare on the highway.
She's doing 88 miles an hour.
When a point-blank attack nearly kills a cop.
If he would have fired one more round, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
On Crisis Point.
Sergeant Guy Smith has worked for the Shreveport, Louisiana Police Department for 20 years.
Y'all ready for the night, huh? Yeah, long day ahead of us. Okay.
Like a lot of cops, Sergeant Smith supplements his income by working security for local businesses.
April 1st is a day that is etched in my memory forever.
Give me a gun.
Hey, good evening, guys. Great. Good to see you. How you doing, Mr. Rock?
I took on this job moonlighting in a impoverished neighborhood, a bad neighborhood.
Y'all ready for the night, huh? Yeah, long day ahead of us. Okay.
Sergeant Smith's here for a reason. The store has just been robbed twice. The owner hopes with Smith, they'll be ready the next time men with bad intent come calling.
I agreed to do it only if he installed a video system, and I instructed him where to place the cameras. I remember thinking that it was just going to be another night.
Sergeant Smith couldn't be more wrong.
Good work.
10:40 p.m. Smith stationed in the back near the safe.
Because we knew, if robbed again, that was where the robbers were going to head to first.
Sergeant Smith notices on his screen that 3 men have entered the store.
At first, nothing looked suspicious about these male subjects.
The 3 men soon walk outside, but when 2 female shoppers exit, they quickly duck back in.
Because it appeared to me that they were waiting for these female patrons to leave, and I figured these guys are up to no good.
Sergeant Smith is right. One of the shady characters pulls a gun.
And then one of the individuals is approaching the cashier with a gun in hand. That's when I realized I've got an armed robbery in progress.
One man, weapon drawn, stands at the counter, but Smith's got bigger troubles. A second gunman is headed straight toward him.
I know I'm gonna have to deal with this person first. I couldn't stand up because they would have definitely seen me in the doorway.
The clerk makes a desperate attempt to knock the bandit's weapon away.
And I know he's trying to get the clerk to the back office with the safe. But what he doesn't know is that I'm in the back office, lying in wait.
Thinking fast, Sergeant Smith quickly unholsters his revolver and turns sideways so the bandit won't shoot at the sight of a gun.
The robber pushes the clerk into the office, and the clerk falls onto me. I push the clerk off of me. The suspect then suddenly sees me in the chair.
Give me that gun.
Gun was so close to my face, I could actually read the brand name and caliber on the barrel. I knew that if this robber pulled the trigger, I was a dead man. He continually said, "Give me your gun."
Give me that gun.
A guy with a handgun is never good because they're going to do whatever they need to do to get away.
Smith acts fast. He springs toward the crook, slaps the weapon away, and removes the threat with 2 rounds.
I've got the one suspect in the office down, and I realize I still have 2 other robbers out in the store. One of them takes a shot at me. The shot hit a display case, and the bullet lodged in the door just 8 inches in front of me. But as I come out of the office, I only saw one bad guy running, and I went after him.
Smith runs after his attacker, but then he gets another deadly surprise.
Suddenly, there is a flash and a bang from the middle of the street about 75 yards from me. I realized that the first suspect shot at me in the store is now shooting at me from the car outside. Get down on one knee and return fire at this vehicle.
The bad guys manage an escape in a waiting getaway car.
I was very worried that they would come in contact with another police officer and possibly hurt or kill him. That laid heavily on my heart because I felt that I should have been able to stop them at that time. But because of the video surveillance, we were able to apprehend these guys days later. One of these criminals was sentenced to life in prison. One was sentenced to 8 years. And another paid for his crimes with his life.
Smith knows the decision to shoot is never an easy one.
It's a decision that has to be made in a split second, and you can't be wrong. You've got to be right. April 1st was the most dangerous day in my life as a cop, but I survived. I was blessed to get out of this alive.
Coming up, when a thug holds up a gas station, he fuels a full-scale brawl with the attendant.
I have to fight to save my life.
On Crisis Point.
Javon Shirdawa has worked at the Marathon Mini Mart for over 2.5 years.
Hey, Javon, how are you?
He pulls the night shift and enjoys taking care of his loyal customers.
Everything's good?
During the daytime, I used to go to college, and during night, I used to work in the gas station. That's only my main reason to work in the gas station at night.
Take care of yourself.
The night of October 1st was one Javon would never forget. It's midnight as Javon works alone in the store.
I saw a car passing by. They stopped in front of my door. They were checking on me.
He attempts to get a better look at the suspicious man who appears to be casing the place.
They go by, and again they come around and they stop in the same spot and look at me. I had a bad feeling. Something is going to happen today. What I should have done is I should have just locked the door.
In seconds, it's too late. A masked man bursts through the door. Armed with a pool cue, he charges the cash register. The clerk furiously pounds the register in the hope of springing the till. But what he can't see is Javon hidden in the aisle.
He didn't see me. I saw him, but he didn't see me. He just started working on the cash register.
When the robber grabs the cash, Javon springs into action. He refuses to go down without a fight.
My thought told me what to do from the inside. So I just went to fight with him.
Using his head and not just his fists, Javon outmaneuvers the crook and takes the upper hand.
And he got nervous. When people get nervous, you can win the battle.
Javon has a sudden chilling thought. The robber might have an accomplice lurking outside. The embattled clerk quickly locks the front door, locking in the bad guy. A fight is certain.
I thought locking off door to defend myself, because if you have a friend, he can come from the back and hit you or stab you. Once I decided to lock the door, I knew battle was going to be between him and me.
Javon reaches for the only weapon available, a mop. The thief tries to escape. Enraged when he discovers the locked door, he drops his pool cue and turns on Javon.
He was telling me, "Give me the key to open the door." I told him, "Give me my money."
The men fight hand to hand for control of the stick. Javon draws strength from the power of his faith.
I'm believe in like the karma. If you have done good in the past, or like you are doing good in the present, I think good thing will happen to you.
Javon wins the struggle for the weapon. But the desperate crook has one more surprise. A 7-inch knife.
Bad thing was happening. I have to fight to save my life.
Javon makes a quick decision. He lunges for the knife and, incredibly, yanks it free. He runs to the counter and hits the alarm.
I know I put my life at risk for like $165. People think I'm crazy on that. He would have killed me or stabbed me. I was not thinking of money or not thinking of the company. I was just thinking of, he was trying to harm me, I'll harm him back. That's what I was thinking.
The would-be burglar has had enough of Javon. He scoops up the dropped cash and finally manages to bust through the door. But Javon is angry and has unfinished business.
If I would have caught up with the robber, I was thinking of like breaking his leg or breaking his everything.
Javon chases after the burglar to get a better description for the police.
When he got away, I felt like I did not do enough to catch him or hold him to the store and give to the cops.
Javon Shertowell will never forget the day when courage bought him a second chance on life.
He was in full swing with his pool cube and with his knife. If I was sitting there in the register, he would have killed me or stabbed me. I was glad to be alive.
Coming up, an officer's routine pullover
Now stop, you're doing 88 miles an hour.
becomes a bloodthirsty shootout.
I remember seeing sights on a gun. I remember hearing it when it went off.
On Crisis.
My name is Henry Huff. I'm a sergeant with Walton County Sheriff's Department.
Sergeant Huff has been with the police department for 18 years.
I've made probably thousands of traffic stops, and this one didn't seem like it was going to be any different. But January 2nd was a turning point in my career.
Sir.
The whole incident that night happened as quick as you could blink your eyes.
Now stop, you're doing 88 miles an hour.
Georgia Highway 81 is a two-lane interstate that sees little traffic.
I came upon a vehicle that was traveling at a higher rate of speed than what the posted limit is. At this time, I activated my lights and siren. As I turned around, I noticed the vehicle was pulled over on the side of the road. I pulled in behind the vehicle. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. Just a standard, basically little family compact car.
It appears to be a routine traffic stop. Huff steps out and approaches the car.
We try not to go beyond where the driver's side door meets the car itself. So as I get to that point, I go ahead and greet him with sir, and then I tell him the reason that I stopped him.
Sergeant Huff never could have imagined what was about to happen next.
Sir. Now stop, you're doing 88 miles an hour.
This is the first time that I ever been shot at or had to use my firearm. I remember seeing sights on a gun. I remember hearing it when it went off.
Huff's training instantly kicks in.
I fell back in between his car and mine.
With incredible precision, he fires 7 rounds through the rear windshield of the vehicle.
To my surprise, the vehicle starts driving up the road, and not just easy. I mean, it takes off. The tires squeal when it goes out, which is kind of a shock to me. I just shot into that car, and now it's going up the road. I'd done what I was supposed to, and I have no explanation of why he was not hit. He was extremely lucky. The only thing I believe that night that saved my life was my bulletproof vest. Like, the first shot was almost center of the chest. Second shot was just above it. If he would have fired one more round, it would have been above the vest line, right in the throat area. And I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Both bullets struck me in the vest. Just checked, I'm gonna be okay.
The bulletproof vest does its job, but Huff knows he was inches from death.
2 shots was good, 3 probably would have been extremely bad.
The would-be cop killer is quickly pursued by backup. The assailant wrecks out, is apprehended, and taken into custody.
He's speeding. He's got a stolen firearm with him. He was a definite danger to other people on the road.
The suspect is currently serving a 12 to 24-year sentence for aggravated assault on a police officer.
This guy was setting to kill me when I approached the window. He had enough time to get that weapon, get it ready, and wait for me to get close enough to shoot me. The worst thing that could have happened that night is if he would have shot one more time. January 2nd was one of the most shocking days in my life. I'm glad it came out the way it did.
Sir. Ready to stop? You're doing 88 miles an hour. 55.
These are the true life stories of people who survived their most terrifying.
Stop, I said dog! Within a second and a half, everything changed.
Most dangerous.
When he said, "I'm gonna shoot you," I knew he meant it.
Most desperate moment. You've just witnessed Crisis Point.